The new Joker movie is out in theaters and the hype is insane. You could argue it's the third most hyped movie of the year, behind Avengers Endgame and Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. The third version of the Joker in the last 12 years has people in a frenzy. But how did we get here? Sometime between 2014 and 2015, Joaquin Phoenix decided he wanted to make a lower budget character piece on a comic book villain, much like the Joker. Phoenix had offers in the past to play Marvel characters such as the Hulk and Dr. Stephen Strange, but he didn't want to make the multi-movie commitment. Coincidentally, at the same time, Todd Phillips, director of this movie among others.
Do you know if the hotel's pager friendly?
What do you mean?
I'm not getting a SIG on my beeper.
I'm not sure.
Is there a payphone bank? Bunch of payphones. Business.
Had expressed interest in a more grounded comic book movie after declining previous offers because he felt the genre was too loud. Phoenix tried to meet with Warner Brothers over his idea, but they declined. They had other things in mind.
I believe in truth, but I'm also a big fan of justice.
But following the success of Wonder Woman, Warner Brothers and DC decided to put less stress on their extended cinematic universe and focus on standalone films. From there, Phillips and Phoenix had their wish with Joker. Martin Scorsese was actually initially co-producing, but would later leave with production ramping up on The Irishman. Bradley Cooper is actually a co-producer on this movie. Even though Warner Brothers had toyed with the idea of Leonardo DiCaprio in the lead role, Todd Phillips says his one and only pick was Joaquin Phoenix, finally allowing Phoenix to say,
"I'm the Joker, baby."
The announcement was met with mostly positive reactions, mixed with some confusion and some disappointment. And Jared Leto, who had just played the Joker in Suicide Squad, wasn't very happy. One might say his confidence in remaining the Joker for future movies was damaged. I'm sure he also didn't love this. And the hype for this down-to-earth, dark Joker movie began to grow. But Phillips ran into some hurdles with the character, citing emails from the studio about Joker's presence in mainstream culture, including things like Joker pajamas at Target. He did make no mention of Joker-branded Kirkland khakis at Costco, though. There was a report at one point that Joker would feature pointed commentary on President Trump, and there was some groaning from fans, and understandably so. Another story was that Alec Baldwin was cast in the movie, and rumors had him playing a Trump-like figure, but he denied those claims. While political and social commentary should exist in movies sometimes, the rumors swirling around Joker had people concerned that all of this would potentially overshadow the character. Regardless, director Todd Phillips said that oftentimes movies mirror society and relevant themes do seep in, but that Joker is not a political movie. One that truly got fans in a tizzy was a comment from Phillips saying that Joker does not follow anything from the comic books, and that they aren't even doing Joker, but the story of him becoming Joker. Once again, a clarification did follow, and Phillips said that it was more that they didn't focus on one comic and instead picked and chose from what they liked from the character's vast history. Two things really helped push the hype for Joker to the maximum level. The first was marketing. Colorful posters were released of a gritty, raw Joker, just beginning to become the character we most recognize, and of course, the trailers.
If you just smile.
The first trailer was released in April 2019, revealing little from the movie but giving us a glimpse at Phoenix's portrayal. Then finally in August, the full final trailer dropped that had fans wondering if Phoenix was putting out an Oscar-worthy performance. The second part of the Joker hype train hit its climax when those Oscar-worthy buzz comments were confirmed as the movie debuted at the Venice Film Festival. Critics praised not only Joker, but Phoenix's acting job, with many stating that he would be a frontrunner for Best Actor at the Oscars, with a chance to become the second to receive a statue for this character. Joker even won the Golden Lion Award, the top prize at the film festival, and an honor given to movies like Roma and The Shape of Water in years past. Its trip to Venice also featured one of my favorite reoccurring tropes with movie premieres: standing ovation stories. It was reported that Joker got an 8-minute standing ovation in Venice. 8 minutes. Talk about injecting more hype into the movie's release. I always take these headlines with a grain of salt. Can you imagine clapping for that long? I lean to say I don't even believe the story. You'd have blisters on your hands from clapping that long. An 8-minute standing ovation, clapping for that long, that's essentially clapping during the entirety of All Star by Smash Mouth 2.4 times. Back in 2006, there was actually a claim that Clerks 2, yes, Clerks 2, got an 8-minute standing ovation at Cannes Film Festival. Come on. Even with a Rotten Tomatoes score that could be considered just above average, in large part due to its dark nature and what some consider to be an overambitious and not as smart as it thinks it is story, Joker still has people itching to get into the theater. It's been called the daring masterclass in cinema by some, and a profound achievement that will leave audiences speechless. That's some high praise. And when they use big words, you know the praise is very high. And Joker really isn't your typical comic book movie. It stands alone in a world where connected universes, specifically from Marvel, are all the rage. Joker is unlikely to set box office records, but it should come very close, even with concerns over safety in theaters and debates about a classic villain and if he's being portrayed as a hero. But going back to the overall hype with this movie, a question is, how do you avoid a letdown with Joker? Because it does hit the trifecta of movie hype. 1, it's a big franchise. 2, reviews came out long before the movie released, and, of course, Oscar buzz. You never know how audiences will react to beloved franchises that have pre-release buzz. Many people were let down by Star Wars The Last Jedi, for example, upon its release, because it had praise that the movie would go toe-to-toe with the best in the franchise. But on the other hand, the recently released Avengers Endgame was so beloved that it even exceeded expectations for some. I mean, attending Endgame, it was like being at a sporting event. It doesn't help that reviews for the movie have been out for so long, as opposed to the usual 2 or 3 days in advance. Moviegoers have been beat over the head with the notion that Joker will have a major impact on the comic book genre and movies as a whole. Lastly, Oscar buzz. Nothing quite sets expectations for people quite like Oscar buzz. The second a movie is in the running for a nomination, the general assumption is that it is top-notch, right? The more and more we hear about Phoenix's iconic performance, the higher of a bar he has to clear to please our expectations. We see this from time to time during award season with movies receiving Oscar buzz, but people not really seeing them until just before the Oscars due to a limited release in smaller theaters initially, in theaters that only sell like Werther's Originals as snacks. It isn't easy to avoid a letdown. I mean, Joker has been just essentially everywhere, as much as any movie released this year, in the news, online. You're just smothered with marketing and campaigns for this movie that it's hard to avoid. Talking yourself into the expectation of it being bad, I guess that's one route, but that seems rather cynical. I try to simplify my desires to just hoping it's enjoyable, just plain old having a good time, enjoying what I see, making my money well spent, rather than just theorizing what I want to happen or what I expect. And it helps to think about a movie for a while before discussing it with people as well. It's been a long road with Joker, and at long last, after months and years of build-up, it's in theaters. It's time for us to form our own opinions on Joker, right? I'm very excited. Joaquin Phoenix is one of my favorite actors, no doubt about that, and the story of this movie is incredibly intriguing. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. That'd be a big help for us. And don't forget, you can rate all 2019 movies in the description below. Just click on the links. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, enjoy the movie.